The stars above the planet Kelvar 3 once shone brightly. It was a small alien outpost near the edge of known space, a place for science, trade, and peaceful discovery. The alien species who lived there, the Durrell, were known for their love of logic and peace. But now, Kelvar 3 was silent. No signals, no broadcasts, no life. At first, the Galactic Council thought it was a technical error. Then they sent a probe. It never returned. They sent a scout ship. Gone. 2 rescue fleets followed. Both vanished without leaving even a piece of wreckage behind. That's when fear began. Something was wrong in that sector. Something even the Council didn't understand. Then a signal came through. Just one. Broken. Full of static. But the message was clear. They are watching from the dark. We never should have come here. Every council leader fell silent when they heard those words. Many wanted to block off the sector, erase it from the maps. But one commander, a young Valari named Cal Terran, said no. We must know the truth, he told them. We can't just turn our backs. Not again. And so, the Starblade, a small but fast council scout ship, was sent into the dark. Its crew was made up of 5 members. All were nervous. No one spoke as they approached the edge of the Kelvar system. Space here felt wrong. The stars were dimmer. The silence felt heavier. We're inside the zone, said Navigator Lin. No signals, no power sources, just silence. Captain Terran stared at the dark screen. Try hailing the outpost. Lin tried. Nothing. We're alone, she whispered. But they weren't. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The engines hummed strangely. What was that? Shouted Engineer Varen. I don't know. No damage reported, but something just passed us. Lin replied, her voice shaking. On the radar, a shadow appeared. No signature, no ID. Just mass, huge mass. Object approaching, said Kale, standing. Weapons ready. The crew held their breath as the object came into view through the observation window. A massive ship, black as space itself, floated toward them. It was ancient, covered in scars. Its design was alien. No, not alien. Human. What is that? Asked Varen. Kale narrowed his eyes. It's a warship, a human warship. But humans are gone, whispered Lin. They left the galaxy centuries ago. The warship gave no response to hails. It just floated closer, silent and slow. Should we run? Asked Varen. Kale hesitated. His instincts screamed to escape, but something deeper told him to stay. Then the ship moved. Without turning, without thrust, it rotated to face them, like it was watching. Then the comms crackled. You called for help. The voice was deep, calm, human. We heard you. The crew froze. Kale slowly leaned forward. Identify yourself. Silence. Then, a slow pulse of blue light moved across the warship's hull. Symbols lit up. Earth military markings, long thought extinct. It's real, Lin whispered. They're back. Kale looked at the massive ship. Why now? Why here? Then a new signal lit up on their screen. A direct transmission. An invitation. They want us to dock, said Lin. Or, they're forcing it. Kale stood. We go in. Are you serious? Varen gasped. That thing could kill us in a second. Then let's find out why it hasn't. The Starblade moved slowly toward the warship's open bay. The stars behind them seemed to fade. Only the black, ancient hull of the human ship filled their view. As they entered, all lights dimmed. All systems went silent. And the voice spoke again. The dark you fear, we faced it. Alone. But now, it's awake again. And so are we. The Starblade floated silently inside the huge human warship. Its name slowly lit up across the wall in glowing letters. REVNANT. No welcome team. No visible crew, just empty metal halls and low humming sounds, like something alive was breathing through the ship itself. Captain Cal Terran and his team stepped onto the cold metal floor. Each footstep echoed like a drumbeat in a tomb. "Are we sure this place is safe?" Varen asked, gripping his scanner tightly. "No," Cal said, "but we're already inside." The alien crew moved slowly, flashlights scanning every shadow. Strange markings covered the walls, scratches, symbols, battle damage. The ship looked like it had been through 1,000 wars and survived. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and then she appeared. A tall figure stood at the end of the hallway, armored in black, helmet in hand. Her skin was pale, her eyes sharp and cold. "I am Captain Sarah Cole," she said, "commander of the Revenant. You entered the void. You deserve answers." Cale stepped forward. "We thought humanity was gone." "We were," she said, "but we came back. Because something else came first." "What do you mean?" asked Lynn, her voice shaky. Sarah turned and motioned them to follow. "Come. You need to see." They passed through massive chambers, armories full of rusted weapons, crew quarters filled with sealed pods. No signs of life, only silence, broken by old warning alarms and deep groans of metal. Finally, they reached the command deck. Sarah pointed to a giant star map. It showed the Kelvar system, and far beyond it, red zones marked Void Breach. Cale frowned. "This map is wrong. These zones don't exist." "That's because your council erased them," Sarah replied. "To protect itself, to forget what it feared." She tapped the map. "This sector, this dead zone, used to be a human colony, one of our finest. But something came through from the far edge of the galaxy. Not a ship, not a fleet, a presence, a force." "You're saying something killed an entire colony?" Lynn asked. "No," Sarah said softly. "It consumed them." She walked over to a sealed screen and activated it. Footage played, dark shapes, static, screaming, people running, shadows crawling through walls. Then the feed cut. "Whatever it was, it didn't just destroy minds," she said. "It took them, controlled them, spread through their thoughts." Cale turned pale. "And you stayed here. Why?" Sarah looked at him. "Because no one else would." She sat down in the captain's chair. "The Revenant was the last of the human warships. We volunteered to patrol this void, to hold the line. But the line is breaking." Suddenly, alarms sounded across the command deck. "Contact," Sarah said, standing. "Movement outside the system." Cale stared at the radar. "There's nothing on screen." "That's how it starts," she said. "It hides in space, like a shadow behind light." Cal's heart raced. "What do we do?" Sarah's eyes burned with grim fire. "You help us, or you run." The screen flashed again, static. Then a whisper, not spoken but felt. "We see you." The crew froze. Sarah slowly reached for her helmet. "It's awake," she said. "And now it knows you're here too." The Revenant's lights dimmed. Everyone on the command deck stood frozen as the whisper faded. It was not a normal voice. It echoed inside their heads, cold, ancient, wrong. Cal's crew stared at the screen. Nothing was there. Then the ship's AI spoke for the first time. "Unknown presence detected. Phase shift pattern not recognized. Threat level, maximum." Captain Sarah Cole moved quickly. "Battle stations. Now." The alien crew backed away, confused. "But we don't see anything." "You won't," Sarah said, "until it's too late." The Revenant's armor plating shifted. Massive cannons unfolded from the sides. Energy cores glowed red. Cale pulled Sarah aside. "What is this thing?" "A creature. A ship." She looked at him grimly. "It has no name, no form. It's not alive the way we understand. It feeds on fear, silence, and thought." Cale frowned. Then how did you survive all this time? We didn't always, she said. We lost most of our crew. Some gave themselves to it. Some tried to leave. It finds them faster that way. Just then, the ship shook. No impact, no alert. Still, something heavy pressed down on everyone, like gravity had tripled. Sarah activated the outer cameras. On screen, they saw it. Not a ship, not a beast, a hole in space, a shadow that bent light around it. Floating, moving, reaching. Kel's pilot gasped. It's eating the stars. The void creature had no eyes, no weapons, but wherever it moved, space around it turned black. Cold. Forgotten. The crew's thoughts grew foggy. Varen blinked slowly, whispering, maybe we should go outside. Maybe it's not so bad. Kale grabbed him. Snap out of it. Sarah barked. Mental shields up. Helmets on. It can speak in your mind if you're not protected. Everyone rushed to gear up. Helmets sealed. Neural blockers activated. The Revenant launched its first volley. Plasma torpedoes glowing red. They hit the thing. Nothing. The creature didn't even move. It's like it's not fully here, Kel whispered. That's because it isn't, Sarah said. It exists between dimensions. Only a small part of it reaches us. That's enough to kill. Suddenly, warning lights flashed. A small alien rescue ship, the Xenia, which had been docked near the back, was missing. Gone. Not destroyed. Just erased. No trace. Varen turned to Sarah. How do we fight that? We don't, she said. We hold it off long enough to warn others. Cal's eyes widened. There are others. There were, she replied, but no one listened. Kale looked around at his team. Fear gripped their hearts, but the mission was clear now. The whispers were getting louder. And now, they knew too much to leave. The Revenant drifted silently in the dark. The alien crew huddled near the command center, their eyes scanning the screens. The black void outside looked quiet, but they all felt it watching. Captain Kale paced slowly. He could feel something pulling at his thoughts. Not a voice, a feeling. Cold, empty, like a memory of dying. It's not attacking, Varen said. Why is it just floating out there? It already is attacking, Sarah said. She tapped her temple. It gets into your mind first, makes you doubt, makes you fear, and once fear grows, it spreads. Suddenly, one of Cal's engineers, Revo, screamed. He dropped to his knees, clutching his helmet. They're inside. They're already here. Cal rushed over. Revo, look at me. Focus. But the man's eyes had gone gray. Not blind, just hollow. Sarah knelt down and scanned him. He's infected. Cal froze. By what? Sarah spoke quietly. By them. The ones who didn't make it. She stood up slowly. The creature doesn't kill the body right away. It breaks the mind. Then it wears it like a mask. Behind them, lights flickered. Another crew member vanished. 1 second they were there. The next, gone. No scream. No sound. Just empty air. Panic swept the alien crew. They're taking us, one by one. Kale slammed his fist on the console. How do we stop this? Sarah walked to the center of the command room and activated a small device. A low-frequency hum filled the air. The whispering stopped. For now, she said, this is a thought shield generator. It stops the creature from pulling at your mind. But it won't last long, she added. It burns out fast. We have 20 minutes. Kale stared at the star map. Then what? Sarah stepped closer. Then we either leave, or we fight it inside its own world. Kale turned slowly. What does that mean? Sarah pointed at a blinking location on the map, deep inside the red zone. This is where it first appeared, the breach point, the edge of the galaxy. If we want to end it, we have to go there. Cal's team looked at each other. No ship has returned from there, Varen whispered. No human ship, Sarah replied. But this one was made to survive that place. Outside, the shadow moved again. Not fast, just enough to remind them. It was still there. Still watching. Still hungry. We go now, Sarah said, or we wait, and vanish like the rest. Kale nodded slowly, then set a course. The Revenant began turning. As its engines powered up, the creature reacted. Whispers turned into screams. Lights across the ship pulsed red. Gravity twisted, and the stars began to fade. They were heading into the breach, into the creature's home, and they had no idea if they'd ever come back. The Revenant flew toward the edge of the known galaxy, toward the breach. Behind them, the stars began to dim, one by one, as if something was swallowing the light. Inside the ship, silence ruled. No one spoke. Every sound felt too loud. Even breath echoed. Captain Kale stood by the window, staring into the black ahead. It wasn't just darkness. It was deeper, like space had been cut open. Sarah walked up beside him. "This is where it began," she whispered. "Where the first human scout ship disappeared. And where we found something. Alive." Kale turned to her. "What did you find?" She hesitated. "We found ourselves." He frowned. "What?" She explained. "The thing in the void. It doesn't just attack your mind. It copies it, learns from it. It becomes you." Cal's stomach turned. "So if it knows us, it knows everything," she said. "Our fears, our plans, even how we think." Just then, the ship shook violently. "Gravitational spike," shouted Varen. "Something's pulling us in." On the screen, a rift opened, swirling like a black storm. The breach. It didn't pull like a normal force. It called to them. The crew watched in horror as pieces of old ships drifted around the rift. Broken hulls, shattered metal, bones. "Those are Council rescue ships," Varen said. "That's what happened to them." But one ship was whole, floating still. Its lights were on. Sarah squinted. "That's the Pathfinder. My old ship." Cal's eyes widened. "You said it was lost." "It was," she said quietly. "I saw it vanish. But now." The Revenant locked onto the floating ship. A strange signal was being broadcast from it. "Welcome back, Sarah." Everyone froze. "How does it know my name?" Kale made a decision. "We're going aboard. Gear up." They docked beside the Pathfinder. Its door was open, waiting. Kale led a small team through the airlock. The corridors inside were quiet. Too quiet. And clean. No bodies. No dust. No damage. Like it had just launched yesterday. "This doesn't feel right," one soldier whispered. Then the lights flickered, and they heard footsteps. Heavy, slow. From around the corner, a figure walked out. It was Sarah. But her eyes were wrong. Too black, too still. She smiled, but not with warmth. "I remember you," she said. "You left us." Sarah raised her weapon. "That's not me." Kale stepped back. "Is this one of the copies?" The fake Sarah nodded. "We learned from her. And now, we are many." Suddenly, more copies appeared. Duplicates of long-dead humans. Soldiers, scientists, children. They all spoke at once. "We remember pain. We remember war. And we remember being forgotten." Cal's team raised their weapons, but they knew bullets wouldn't stop this. Sarah activated a pulse grenade and threw it down the corridor. "Run." The team dashed back toward the Revenant as the grenade went off, blasting the hallway with a psychic shockwave. Back on board, the real Sarah turned to Kale. "Now you understand. The breach doesn't just kill. It changes." Kale nodded grimly. "Then we finish this." The ship turned toward the center of the breach, toward whatever waited at the heart of the void. They had seen what it could do. Now they were going to destroy it, or be consumed by it. The revenant dove deeper into the rift. Outside, the galaxy disappeared. No stars, no light, just endless black. Inside the ship, the crew clung to their stations. Alarms blared. Hull pressure rose. The air felt heavier. Captain Cale's voice echoed through the ship. "Hold together. We're almost there." Varen wiped sweat from his brow. "We shouldn't be alive. Nothing should survive this deep." Sarah stood near the scanner, eyes locked on the growing shape ahead. "It's not just space," she said. "It's something living." In the middle of the breach, they saw it. A giant shape, floating in the dark, part machine, part organic. Black like obsidian, but pulsing with strange, red lights. It wasn't a ship. It was a mind. Sarah whispered, "That's the source. That's what's been calling." Cale gripped the console. "Is it alive?" "Yes," she said. "And it's watching us now." Suddenly, the ship's systems went haywire. Screens glitched, doors opened and closed. Voices whispered through the speakers. Some were human, some not. "You left us. You burned the sky. Now it's your turn to be forgotten." One of the alien crew clutched his head and collapsed. "It's inside me." Cale shouted, "Get him to medbay. Lock it down." The Revenant's AI flickered, then stabilized. Sarah slammed her hand on the control panel. "We need to finish what humanity started. This thing isn't just reading minds. It's feeding on pain, on memories." Varen asked, "Then how do we fight it?" Sarah stepped forward. "We take away what it needs. Our fear." She opened a secure chamber in the ship's core. Inside, a glowing device floated in suspension. "The last weapon humanity built before the exile," she said. "A memory bomb." Cal's eyes narrowed. "What does it do?" "It erases thought. Not just from machines, from the space around them. Total neural silence. It'll wipe everything the creature has collected." "But if we use it," she warned, "we won't be able to come back." Cale looked at the view ahead. The creature's vast form, now moving toward them. Slow but unstoppable. "We came this far," he said. "We finish it." Sarah nodded. She began powering up the bomb. The creature sent one final message into their minds. It wasn't words. It was images, battles, fire, screaming humans and aliens alike. Children lost, worlds burning. "This is what you made us." Cale growled. "No, we made something better. We chose to survive." The Revenant charged forward. Cale gave the order. "Drop the bomb." Sarah pressed the switch. A white light grew in the core. The creature screamed, not in sound, but in thought. The entire void trembled. Its body twisted. Cracks appeared in the black around them. Then, silence. Nothing. No stars. No ship. No sound. Only white. Silence. Captain Cale opened his eyes. He was floating. No ship. No crew. Just white. Endless white. "Am I dead?" he whispered. Then a faint sound. Footsteps. He turned and saw Sarah walking across the glowing space toward him. Her form shimmered like mist, but her face was calm. "You're not dead," she said gently. "Not yet." "Where are we?" he asked. Sarah looked around. Between moments, the memory bomb didn't destroy time. It paused it, just long enough for one last choice. Cale frowned. "What choice?" "You can return, but only one of us can go back." He stared at her. "The Revenant, the crew, the galaxy. They'll need a voice, someone to tell the truth." Sarah smiled softly. "Let it be you." "No," he shook his head. "You know more. You've seen this longer." "And I've been running longer," she said. "You still believe there's something worth saving. That's why it has to be you." Cale hesitated. Then he nodded. She reached out and touched his chest. A sudden warmth filled him. And then, Darkness. Kale awoke to alarms. The revenant was back. Scarred, but whole. Varen's voice crackled over the intercom. "Captain, we're alive." Kale sat up in the command chair. "Status." "The breach is gone," Varen said, amazed. "The void is collapsing. Stars are returning." Outside the ship, light bloomed across the sky. Bright, beautiful, and full of hope. The horror was over. But a silence fell across the bridge. "Sarah," Kale called. No answer. Only her locket rested beside his seat. Inside was a small photo of her, smiling, with a line written in human script. "Remember what we are." Months later, the Revenant returned to the Galactic Council. When they saw the human ship, many feared an attack. But Kale stepped forward, alone. He told them what happened, about the breach, about the voice in the dark, about the cost, and about how humanity had not come to conquer, but to protect. At first, there was silence. Then, one by one, alien leaders stood in respect. Humanity was no longer the forgotten race. They were the shield in the dark. And Kale, he never let them forget the ones who gave everything to bring the light back.